Good evening, ma'am. My name is Ankita Krishna. I would like to welcome you and give a brief introduction about Panchajanya. Panchajanya, the divine conch of Bhagwan Shri Krishna, which was blown during the start of Dharma Yuddha that followed. All the efforts were done for the establishment of Dharma. Dharma was kept over all personal relations and motives. Keeping the same motive in mind, our organization will work towards establishing the importance and necessity of following and imbibing Bharatiya culture, appreciating our roots, and making people realize the true essence of Ayurveda, not only as a treatment modality, but also as a way of life. All these while working in the path of Dharma. Hence the motto, Shreyam Bharatiyam Arogyam Ayurvediyam. The founders of this organization started this because we felt the need to spread the knowledge of Bharatiya culture, Ayurveda, the true history of Bharata Rashtra, and value to all strata of people in every corner of the world. Also, the founders, being Ayurveda aspirants, know the inside out of today's medical field. Hence they aim to make people aware of this and also try their best to solve this on the go. With this aim in mind, I would like to welcome you all to Pragnavaridhi lecture series conducted for first year students. Today, we have Vd Reshma M Saokar, presently working as Associate Professor, Department of RSBK at SDM Institute of Ayurveda, Bangalore. Completed her UG from Gomantak Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Goa, and PG from BLDAS AVS Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Vijaypur. She is an expert member of Board of Studies in RGUHS from August 2023. Ma'am will be taking the topic Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. We welcome you, ma'am, handing over the session to you. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Ankita. At the outset, let me thank the Panchajanya team for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this lecture series. So, as said, today I will be presenting on the topic of Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. Okay, so let us begin with it. So, Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana, it is made up of three words, Panchavidha, Kashaya and Kalpana. So, let us see the meaning of each of these words. The word kashaya, the root word of kashaya is kasha, which means to scrape, rub, or injure. So kasha himsam karoti iti kashaya. So here, which irritates the disease and drives them away, is called as kashaya. So ka here is kaya, sha is destruction, and ya is yantrana. So which prevents the body from destruction is kashaya kalpana. Kasha himsayam also refers to when you are injuring even the drug and striking it or grinding it to convert it into a total different substance or a formulation is also called as kashaya. The term meaning of the word kalpana here is kalpate vidhiyate asau vidhi, which means performance or creation of an act, or kalpana yojanam ityartham, means planning for the preparation of medicine as well as for the clinical application of it in accordance to the disease condition. Kalpanam upayogartham prakalpanam samskaranam iti. So there are different modifactory procedures such as grinding, frying, heating carried out to potentiate the drug action, enhance its shelf life, improve palatability and fulfill patient compliance. So, Kashaya Kalpana is a medicine preparation with proper planning. Panchavidha, since they are 5 in number, hence Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. So, basically, all these preparations are classified under two broad headings. One is the Aushadha Kalpana and second is the Ahara Kalpana. So, under Aushadha Kalpana, we have two classification. One is the primary preparations, which are the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpanas, in which we have Swarasa, Kalka, Kwatha, Hema and Phanta. And by using these primary preparations, we prepare the secondary preparations like Sneha Kalpana, Vati, Avaleha, Sandhana Kalpana, Taila preparations, etc. So today we will see the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. So Athatah Swarasa Kalkakwatascha Himaka Pantako Neya Kashaya Panchayate Lagavasyu Yathottaram. So first in order is Swarasa, followed by Kalka, followed by Kwatha, Hema and Phanta. It has to be in this order only. Among this, Swarasa is the highly potent one, and as you go downwards, the potency decreases. And at the same time, Swarasa is also Guru, that is very heavy for digestion. And as you go downwards, the it becomes lighter for digestion. So let us see the different types according to the different authors. So the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana, which we will be seeing today, is told by Charaka Samhita, Ashtanga Hridaya and Sharangdhara. According to Sushruta Samhita, he has told about Shadavidha Kashaya Kalpanas. So the five are the same. The extra one is the Ksheera. So Ksheera here is considered as the milky latex of, say, example, Snoopy and all. So that is the Ksheera. So many consider here it as Ksheera Paka, which is not so. The Saptavida Kashaya Kalpana is told by Kashyapa Samhita, in which we have this five Kashaya Kalpanas, and the extra two ones are the Churna Kalpana and Abhishava. And the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana, according to Arka Prakasha, is a bit different from our Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. So there we have Kalka, Churna, Rasa, Taila, and Arka. Now let us see the Upakalpanas of each of them. So since Upakalpanas are classified because of the similarity in the preparation of this smaller preparations which are there. So Swarasa actually doesn't have any Upakalpana, but according to Sharangdhara, Tandulodaka is classified under the Upakalpana of Swarasa. For Kalka, it is Churna. For Kwatha, it is there are six Upakalpanas are there. You can remember it as plum, Plump, plum, K, P for Paniya, L for Laksharasa, U for Ushnodaka, M for Mamsarasa, P for Pramathya, and K for Kshirapaka. Hemakalpana has three Upakalpanas, Mantha, Udaka, and Panaka. And Phanta has one Upakalpana, that is Arka, but according to Sharangdhara Samhita, he has classified Mantha as the Upakalpana of Phanta. So let us now see each of these kalpanas and its upakalpanas. So first coming to Swarasa. Swarasa here is Swarasa iti sadyo rasaha or yantra nishpidita dravyat rasaha Swarasa uchyate. So which is freshly extracted expressed juice or mechanically expressed juice of a plant is called as Swarasa. So mechanically earlier it was the Kalva yantra that was used, and now as the age advances, we have different other yantras which are there, like in the form of mixie, or for a large scale we have juice extractors and all. Okay, so this is how the Swarasa is. So types of Swarasa, it is classified into broad areas, two types. One is Niragani and other is Sagani. Niragani, for not making the use of Agni, in which we have two types. One is from the fresh rock, other is from the dried rock. And in Sagani, with the help of Agni, you are doing it. In that, two examples are there. One is for the hard drugs and other is for the fibrous drugs, which is also called as the Puttapaka Swarasa. So the first one for the fresh drugs, here the drug is collected ahata. It should be not be infested by the worms or spoiled by the climatic conditions. It should be freshly collected, the chana, and dravyat shunat. It should be pounded, samudhare, taken it out from the kalvayantra and put it in the vastra and squeeze it. So the rasa which should be obtained is called as the Swarasa. So this is from the fresh drug. In case if you do not get the fresh drugs, then you have to do the Swarasa from the dry drug. So how to do the Swarasa from the dry drug is you have to take the dry drug, coarse powder of the dry drug, add 2 parts of the water and ahoratram stitam. So keep it for ahoratra, that is 1 day and 1 night, which is 24 hours. After 24 hours, macerate it and filter it. So that filtrate what you get is called as the Swarasa. So that has to be used as the Swarasa. Then we have these two were the Niragni methods. Next we move to the Saagni methods of Swarasa, which is for the hard drugs. So in case the drug is a bit hard, in that case you have to take 1 part of that coarse powder of that drug, add 8 parts of water, boil it and reduce it to 1/4, and then it is filtered, and that filtrate what you get will be used as Swarasa. Next we have for the fibrous drug, which is called as the Puttapaka Swarasa. So Puttapaka Swarasa, here what is done is the drug is which is there. Here it is collected Okay, then it is pounded and made into form of a bolus. Okay, and then that bolus is tied into a kadali patra or vata patra, and then tied it with a thread. Over this, it is covered with the godhuma pishti up to a height of 1 angula. Over that godhuma pishti, you will be covering it with multani mitti again up to the thickness of 1 angula, and you will keep it for drying, and then it is subjected to heat with the help of cow dung cakes. So when you heat it when it turns to red hot, you are supposed to take it out from the fire, and immediately all the coverings of the multani mitti, the godhuma pishti, and the leaves which are there are removed, and that bolus which is there, which will be warm in nature, that is put in the cloth and squeezed, and the filtrate what you get, the rasa which you get, will be called as the paka swarasa. Okay. So here again there is a little, because if the quantity is small, this procedure is okay. But many a times this procedure is modified by using Swedani yantra. So in Swedani yantra, the cloth is tied over the vessel. The vessel is filled with the cloth, and on that cloth the drug is placed and it is given steam. So once the drug is steamed, it is then taken out, put it in the Khalva yantra, pound it well and squeeze it. So that will be used as the Swarasa. So this is the modified method of doing the Puttapaka Swarasa. So next, coming to the dosage of it. So dosage, the Swarasa which is done with Niragni method, the dosage is half pala, which is 24 ml, and the one which is done with Saagni method, the dosage is 1 pala, which is 48 ml. Half pala and 1 pala. Half pala for Niragni because it is Guru in nature, it is heavy because you are not doing any Agni Samskara on it. So hence the dosage is less compared to Saagni method. The Prakshepaka Dravyas which are to be added into the Swarasa are to be added in the quantity of 1 kola, that is equal to 6 grams. So Prakshepaka Dravyas can be honey, sugar, jaggery, shara, jiraka, lavana, grita, taila or churnas. So in 24 ml you will add 1 kola, or if it is Sagni method, in 48 ml you will be adding 1 kola matra. So these are the modern instruments which are used for large scale productions. So these are the juice extractors and all. So they will be used for preparing the juice, which will be used for preparing some secondary preparations many a times. Other or also as such, the fresh drugs which are there, juices are also sold in the market, like amla juice or your aloe vera juice and all will be available in the market. So what is the general use of the Swarasa? So as it is directly, you can use it as a medication. Secondly, you can use it for the secondary preparations like Sneha Kalpana, Sharkara Kalpana. It is also used for Bhavana Dravya in many of the preparations, and even for Shodhana procedures, say examples Lagu Sochikar Vati, Arogya Vardhini Vati, and also used as Anupana. So let us see now some of the examples of Swarasa, in which we have two examples. One is Tulsi Swarasa and another is Ardraka Swarasa. So Tulsi Swarasa, here you have to, when you are writing any preparations, you have to first write the reference of it with the shloka and the reference, followed by the ingredients, in what proportion you are taking, then method of preparation of it, dose, anupana, indications, and followed by any special note if there is any. So here I have just written method of preparation as general, but you have to write it in detail when you are writing the method of preparation. Then dose is half pala, anupana is maricha churna, and indication is vishama jwara. In Ardraka Swarasa, so Chaudra Yukto, and indications Vrishana Vata, Shvasa Kasa Aruchi Pratishaya. So same method, Ardraka, method of preparation. You have to write in detail. Dose is half pala. Since this both are Niragni Siddha Swarasa, dose is half pala, Anupana is honey, and indication are the below mentioned ones. Next we have Kumari Swarasa. This is also a Niragni Swarasa. So this is taken again in half pala with Anupana as turmeric powder, and indications are Pliha Vriddhi and Apachi. The fourth one is the Vasa Puttapaka Swarasa, which is done by the Puttapaka method. So method is already explained to you at the behind. So here the method is followed, and this is to be taken with madhu in the dose of one pala because it is Saagni, and indications are Rakta Pitta, Kasa, Jwara, and Kshaya. Next, we move to the Kalka Kalpana. So, paste of drugs, it is called. So, definition is Yaha Pindo Rasa Pishtana Kalka Sa Prakritita. So, the final product will be in the Pinda Swarupa. So, hence you call it as Kalka. And the other definition, which is of Sharamdara Samhita, is Dravyam Ardram. So, if the drug is in the wet form, you just grind it directly on the in the grinder. Shushkam, if the dravya is shushka, you have to add a little quantity of water and grind it, and the final product should be in the form of a round bolus. Prakshepa, avapa are the synonyms of kalka, and karsha sammitam, tanmanam karsha sammitam, that is the dosage of the kalka is 1 karsha, which is equal to 12 grams. Prakshepaka dravyas in the kalka is Madhu, Krita, Taila, if you are adding, it is to be double to that of Kalka. Sita or Guda is equal, and any Drava Dravya, which is like in the form of Kwatha or Swarasa, will be 4 parts to that of Kalka. General uses of Kalka used as internal medicine, also used as a topical agent in Prana, Pindi, Vidalaka, and used in the preparations like Sneha Kalpana, Basti Kalpana, and also used as Prakshepaka Dravya. Next, some of the examples we will be seeing over here. So we have Nimba Kalka and we have Lashona Kalka. So Nimba Kalka is here Nimba, again the leaves, fresh leaves of the Azardirecta indica, they are taken, and it should be cleaned well. The leaves should not be too ripe or too tender, and it should not be infested by the worms. They should be cleaned and then taken in the Khalva Yantra and pounded into a very fine paste such that it turns into a proper bolus. So this is 1 karsha you have to give in the dosage, both internally as well as externally it can be given. Internally in the Chardi and Pittaja and Kafajakrumi and Kushta, and externally as a lepa in Brana for Brana Shodhana and Ropana. Next is Rasona Kalka. So Shuddha Kalko Rasunasya. Shuddha Kalko they have said because you have to do the Shodhana of the Lashuna, which is usually done by soaking it in buttermilk overnight, and then there will be a small like tip of that this Lashuna which you have to take it out, and that Lashuna should be added or used to do the Kalka. So Tilatailena Mishrita. So Anupana here is to be mixed with Tilataila, and it is indicated in Vata, Roga, and Vishama Jwara. So next we finished with the Kalka part of it. Next we move to the Upakalpana of Kalka Kalpana. So Upakalpana, there is only one Upakalpana, which is Churna Kalpana. So the definition of the Churna goes Atyanta Shushkam Yadravyam Supishtam Vastagalitam. So the Dravya should be Atyanta Shushka, and it should be finely ground, such fine that it should be able to pass through the cloth. So that fine powder which is obtained is called as Churna, and the Raja and Shodha are the synonyms of Churna, and the dosage is 1 Karsha. Now coming to the types of Churna, 3 types of Churnas are there: Stula Churna, Sukshma Churna, and Atyanta Sukshma Churna. Stula Churna is called as coarse powder, which can pass through a sieve size of 18 to 20, and this type of Churna is usually used for preparation of Vata, Hema, and Phanta. Sukshma Churna, which is there, is fine powder, which passes through the sieve size of 60, which is used usually for vati preparation and internal administration of some of the churnas. This type of churna is used. And Atyanta Sukshma Churna is a very fine powder which passes through a sieve of 100, which is usually used for nasya. And usually our basma preparations and all are that fine in nature. Next, based types of churna are classified based on the sieve size. We have coarse powder, which in which all the particles pass through a sieve size of 10, but only 40% pass through a sieve size of 44. Then we have moderately coarse powder, which passes through a sieve size of 22. Moderately fine powder, sieve size 44, fine powder, sieve size 85, and very fine powder, sieve size 120. So the higher the number of sieve size, the finer is the powder. So here 10 means in that 1 square inch of the space, there are 10 holes are there. So the powder which will be there will be bigger in size. Then coming to the Prakshepaka Dravyas in Churna. So Guda, if you are adding, it should be equal to that of Churna. Sita is 2 parts. Ghrita, Madhu or Taila is again 2 parts. If any Drava Dravya you are adding, it is 4 parts. And if you are adding Hingu, it should be Ghrita Barjita, and it should be in such a quantity that it should not cause any nausea or utklesha. Next, Anupana, when you are giving it in Vataja, Pittaja, and Kaphaja Rogas. In Vataja Rogas, the Anupana Matra should be 3 pala. In Pittaja Roga, it should be 2 pala. And in Kaphaja Roga, it should be 1 pala. These are the modern instruments which are used for a large scale production. So we have disintegrator. Disintegrator is usually used when you want a coarse powder. Pulverizers are used for depending on the sieve size, you can make a very fine powder of with the pulverizers, and even edge runners also are used for making the churnas. And these are the for mixing, and specially you will be using if the combination of two or more churnas are there, like it's a formulation, say sitopalade churna, to mix all these ingredients uniformly, it's not possible with the hand. So on large scale production, this mass mixers which are there are used, or even cone blenders are used for uniform mixing of all the ingredients. Next, coming to uses of churna, it is used even as a single medicine, used as sahapana with solid or liquid preparations, used in the secondary preparations like vati, sneha, sandhana kalpana, and taila kalpana, used externally for udvartana, lepa, nasya, and avachurnana. Next, we move to some of the examples of churna, in which we have Sitopaladi churna and Hingvashtaka churna. So, Sitopaladi churna, the references of Sharangara Samhita. So, shlokas, preferably try to learn the shlokas of Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. If in case you feel difficulty, at least try to make some mnemonics and learn it. So here in Sitopaladi Churna, there are 5 ingredients are there. So first one is sugar candy, which is 16 parts, followed by Vamshalochana, which is 8 parts, Pipali is 4 parts, Ela is 2 parts, and Twak is 1 part. Even you can, there is one more shloka for that, Sitopala Tugakshiri Pipali Bahula Twacha. So that also you can remember, and each is half of the you have to reduce, or you can just remember it as SV PET. S for sugar candy, V for Vamshalochana, PET, Pipali Ela Twak. So method of preparation, each again you have to pound the drug separately into a fine powder and pass it through the sieve so that there is uniform size of the particles, and then again mix all those in the mentioned quantity into a homogeneous mixture and store it in the airtight container. So dose is 1 kasha, anupana is madhukrita, and indications are shwasa, kasa, kshaya, hastapadadah, mandagni, supta jivva, parshvashula, aruchi, jwara, and urdhvaga raktapitta. Next we have Hingvashtaka Churna. Uh, in Ingvashtaka Churna, as the name suggests, Hingu Ashtaka. 8 ingredients are there. So ingredients are Trikatu, that is Pippali, Maricha and Shunthi, then Ajamoda, then Saindhava, Jeerakedve, Shweta Jeeraka and Krishna Jeeraka, Samadharanam Grutana, Ashtamo Hingu Bhagaha. So together to that, 1/8 of it is Hingu. So when you calculate it, it almost comes to one part. So all ingredients to be taken in one part each. Again, same separate pounding and then mixing it together to get a homogeneous mixture. And storing is very important in the airtight container. Dose again is half karsha. Indications Agnidipana, Shulanashana, Vatagulma, Anupana is Krita, and mode of administration is specially told for Ingvashtaka Churna is Prathama Kavala Bhuktam Sarpisham Churna Metat. So, it should always be mixed with the first bolus of food along with Grita and consumed. So this finishes with the Upakalpana of Kalka. Next we move to the Kwatha Kalpana. So here the definition of Kwatha is the word Kwatha has come from Kwathana, which means to boil. So you are boiling the drugs by adding some quantity of water and doing the reduction and filtering. So here the water soluble extracts of the drug which are there are comes into the liquid media, and the one which are heat stable are prepared by Kwatha preparations. The synonym is Shruta. Definition goes according to Charangdara is Paniyam Shodashagunam. So Shunnam Dravya Palakshipet. So to one part of the costly powder drug, you have to add 16 parts of water. Mrutpatre Kwathed Grayam. So you have to again boil it in a Mrutpatra. Here now Mrutpatra is not used, but you have to use a vessel which is usually inert in nature, which does not react with that substance, and reduce it to 1/8. Here, say example, you're taking 10 grams of a drug. So 16 parts will be 160 ml of water you are adding, and that 160 ml is reduced to 1/8, which you have to reduce to 20 ml. So 1/8 reduction and Koshnam Mrudvagni Sadhitam. So it should always be taken in the Koshna form, and it should always be processed on Mrudu Agni. Paryaya is Shruta, Kwatha, Kashaya and Niryuha. So precautions again when it is told that Apidana Mukham Patre Jalam Durjaratam Brajit. So you should never close the vessel when you are boiling the Vatha, because when you close the vessel it becomes Guru for digestion, and hence not recommended. Another precaution is when you are taking when you are preparing a Kwatha Kalpana is you should not reheat the Kwatha. Once when it is prepared, it should always be consumed within that duration and not reheated. Vessel should be inert, mild heat should be maintained. All these precautions has to be followed. Next, coming to the types of Kwatha. The types of Kwatha are classified based on the nature of the drug. So based on the nature of the drug, we have four types. If the drug is mrudu in nature, say example guruchi or tuna panchamula, you should add 4 times of water to the drug. If the drug is madhyama or kathina like bruhata or lagu panchamula, the quantity of the water which you are adding for boiling should be 8 times. If the drug is atyanta kathina like daru haridra raktachandana devdaru, it should be 16 times. And if it is a sangata, a mixture of mrudu and kathina drugs, if it is there, then the quantity of water should be 8 times. But reduction should always be 1/4 to that of the quantity added. Next, the ratio of the water depending on the quantity of the drug. So first we saw the nature of the drugs. Now this is the quantity of the drugs. So if the quantity of the drugs which you are used for preparing the Kwatha is between 1 karsha to 1 pala, then the ratio of the water should be 16 times. If it is the quantity is from 1 pala, that is 48 grams to 192 grams of coarse powder you are taking, then the water quantity should be 8 times. And if you are taking the quantity of the drug from 192 grams, that is 1 kudava to 1 prastha or above, 1 prastha is 768 grams, then it should be 4 times to that of the quantity taken. Then Kwatha Matra, Uttama Matra is considered as 2 pala and Madhyama Matra is considered as 1 pala. Ahara package is sanjate, so you have to always give it after the digestion of the food. The Prakshepaka matras that will go into the Kwatha are as follows. So, if depending on Vataja, Pittaja, or Kaphaja Roga, the quantity of Sita will be 1/4 in Vataja Roga, 1/8 in Pittaja Roga, and 1/16 in Kaphaja Roga. And the opposite of it is for Madhu. That is, if it is Vataja Roga, Madhu will be 1/16, Pitta Charoga, Madhu will be 1/8, and Kapha Charoga, Madhu will be 1/4. That is, more quantity of Madhu will be added in Kapha Charoga, whereas more quantity of Sita will be added in Vata Charogas. And if there are other ingredients such as Jiraka, Gugulu, Kshara, or Lavana, or Hingu you want to add, which are a little Tikshna Dravyas, the quantity will be 1 Shana, that is 3 grams. And if you want to add Prakshepaka dravya such Ksheera, Ghrita, Guda, Taila, Mudra, or any other dravya, or even Kalka or Churna, then the quantity will be 1 Karsha. Shelf life usually for instant use, but according to Yoga Ratnakar, he has mentioned as 3 hours. Again, you have to be very careful not to reheat the Kwatha. General uses of Kwatha Kalpana is an important again dosage form, very widely used dosage form in day-to-day practice. Another uses are for topical agent in the form of Ashodhana, Avagahana, Parisheka, Vrana Prakshalana or Basti also. Used in the preparations like Sneha Kalpana, Rasakriya, Asavarishta, Avaleha preparations. Used as Bhavana Dravyas or Shodhana Dravya and also as Anupana. Then some example we will see over here, in which we have two examples. One is Rasna Saptaka Kwatha and another is Punarnavashtaka Kwatha. So Rasna Saptaka Kwatha, as the name suggests, ingredients are Rasna, total together 7 ingredients are there. Shloka again, very important to read. Rasna Kokshura Eranda, Devadaru Punarnava, Guduchi Arakvadaschaiva, Kwathamesha Vipache. Shunti Churna is the Anupana with that. So these are the ingredients. So Rasna, Okshura, Eranda, Devdaru, Punarnava, Guduchi and Arakvada. So total 7 ingredients are there. So 7 total, how much of that? To that 16 parts of the water you have to add. So 7 into 16 parts, how much it is coming? You have to add that much. Reduction is 1/8. So method of preparation. At the end you have to write in detail about the method of preparation. Dose is 2 pala. Prakshepaka dravya is Shunti Churna. Again, Shunti Churna is coming in the Shana Pramana. So 3 grams should be added. Shula, Kati Shula, Parshi Shula, Prucha Shula, Shula and Amvat. So if you have difficulty in reading the shloka, you can even remember it as PG grade. P for Punarnava, G for Shura, G for again Guduchi, Rasna, Aravada, and Eran. Next we do the Purnamastaka Kwatha. So in Purnamastaka Kwatha, again as the name suggests, Ashtaka means 8 ingredients. So which are the 8 ingredients? These are Punarnava and Nimba, Patola, Shunti, Tikta is Katuki over here, Amruta is Guduchi, Daru Haridra, Abhaya is Haritaki, Kashaya. So this ingredient 8 parts, so 8 to 16 parts of water. Reduction is 8. So same 2 color indications along the shloka. Udara, Kasvasa, Shula and Pandu. So if you want to remember shloka, if you, is better. Otherwise you can remember as HP2 stand. H is for Haritaki, P for 2 Patola and Punarnava, S for Shunti, then T for Amruta, then Nagara, Nimba, and D for Daruharita. So this is production of the Kwathas on a large scale. So there are huge drug boilers. If you have visited pharmaceutical companies, you must have noticed over there huge drug boilers will be there for preparations of Kwatha, and there will be a sieve at the bottom, or many a times sieve also will be a separate which will be there. If you can see it in the pulley over there, in that the drug will be placed and it will be lowered into the drum. And when the reduction is over, next is the Ushnodaka. The qualities of Ushnodaka are it is Kapha, Vata Shamaka. It is indicated in Medoroga, Kasa, Shwasa, and Jwara. It does Basti Shodhana and Agni Deepana. And Sharangdara says that drinking water, hot water at night time is always beneficial. So, Pitam Ushnodakam Nishi. So next, this is the slide which tells about the effect of Ushnodaka on different doshas and different seasons. So when you are taking boiling the water and reducing 1/4 part of it, the qualities of that water is it is Vatahara and it can be used in Grishma and Sharada Rutu. If you are boiling the water and reducing half part of it, it is Pittahara and used in Hemanta, Shishira and Varsha Rutu. And if you are boiling 3/4 part of the water, and it will be Kafahara and used in Vasanta Rutu. And just boiled and cool water is 3 doshavana and used in all seasons. Next, we move to Ksheera paka. Ksheera paka is a special preparation in which milk media is used to extract the qualities of that drug into the media, and at the same time milk which is there is also having has its nutritional value. So here the dravya which is there is taken 1 part, Ksheera is 8 parts and Jala is 32 parts. All the ingredients are mixed together and boiled on mandagni till all the water content of it evaporates. So this is taken as Ksheera paka. So this Ksheera paka, another reference also we find, which is according to Yadavji Trikamji Acharya, where he says the drug Ksheera and Jala proportion is 1:15:15. The third reference of Shirapaka we find according to Rashtanga Sangraha, where it is mentioned that the kashaya of that drug should be prepared first. The kashaya should be filtered, and to the filtered kashaya you have to add the milk and boil till only the milk part remains. So this is according to Ashtanga Sangraha. And what is the Anupana? And Matra is similar to Kwatha Kalpana. So why is this milk media selected? Because there are some drugs which are there which are having Ushna and Tikshna gunas like Ballataka or Lashuna. And if you consume such drugs, they can cause harm. So to reduce its Tikshnata and at the same time make the best uh, effect of that drug, utilize its therapeutic utility, this Ksheera paka is done. So other drugs which also are there, Arjuna, which doesn't have a very good taste. So such drugs also can be made into Ksheera paka. But Arjuna is very good Rudya drug, but it is Kashaya rasa. Ksheera paka advantage again, it makes it more palatable and it acts as a good nutrient along with medicinal value and preferred more in children and aged patient. But only disadvantage of this preparation is the drugs which are having amla rasa and lavant rasa cannot be used for such kind of preparation because the milk will curdle. Now let us see some of the examples of Lashuna Ksheera paka. Ksheera paka. One is the Lashuna Ksheera paka, Lashuna Ksheera paka. In Lashuna Ksheera paka, reference is by Churna, which again method of preparation and water proportion is said to be 1:8:8. So we have seen now 4 types of references for Ksheera paka. First is 1:8:32. Second is by Yadavji Trikamji Acharya 1:15:15. Third is by Ashtanga Sangraha, where you prepare the kashaya first and filter it and to be added with milk and boiled till milk part remains. And fourth is by Vaishnavanavya Charaka, where 1:8:8. So again, you have to rehearse the Lashuna, crush it. Okay, next we move to the Panaka Kalpana. So Panaka here is different from Paniya Kalpana of Kwatha Kalpana. So Paniya is different, Panaka is different. So Paniya definition goes Phalam Amlam Anamlam Va Sheetambu Parimarditam. So here you can take Phala which are Amla in nature or Anamla which are sweet in nature and adding a little quantity of water and macerating it well to extract the pulpa. And another definition also says phalam amlam jale svinnam. So if the pulp is hard in nature, say like raw mango and all, in such cases you can just do a steaming of that pulp and mix it with warm water and make a mixture of it. And it should be then added with sita and maricha as per the taste and served. So the dose is 2 pala. This is also again very good rejuvenating. Sadhyo balakara, daha shamak, trushna nivaraka and pitta shamaka. So these are the amla fruits which are there. Chincha, lemon, raw mango. Anamla fruits we have mango, pineapple, grapes. Next example is Chincha Panaka. So Chincha Panaka again is an Anubhuta Yoga. So here Chincha you have to take pulp which is devoid of seeds, one part. It should be soaked in 4 parts of water for half an hour and then macerated well and filtered. To that filter again you will be adding 2 parts of sugar, mix it well and then Saindhava, Varjita, Jiraka and Maricha Churna will be added in the said quantity and mixed well and served. Dose is 2 pala and indication Deepana, Arjuna, Grahi, Devani, Mandagani, Aruchi, Vamana and Krishna. Then example is Chandana Panaka. We have Shweta Chandana. Fine powder of Shweta Chandana is taken. 4 parts of water is added. Soak well, filter. And 2 parts of sugar should be added. A little of lemon juice should be added, and it should be served. So this is also very good Krishna Daha Shamaka and Mutra Vikara, Upadamsha, Jwara and Pitta Shamaka. And the last one in this is the Phanta Kalpana. So Phanta Kalpana among them is the least potent and the very lightest for digestion among the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. So here 1 part of the drug and 4 parts of water is to be added. Mixed here hot water is to be added. Phanta Kalpana is usually done for drugs which are heat stable, but you are adding warm water to extract those principles. They also have volatile principles, but which if you boil it, they are Ushna Viryatam Dravyas. So when boiled and all, there are chances that it will volatile principles will get evaporated. Hence, Phanta Kalpana is done. Common preparation that we usually follow for Phanta preparation in our day-to-day practice is the tea preparation. So the drug will be made into coarse powder. It will be taken in a vessel. The hot water will be boiled and made hot and poured into the drug. And you have to ensure that the drug is completely soaked. Then you have to close the lid and wait for the water to turn into warm. And after that, macerated and filtered. So synonyms are Churna Drava and doses 2 pala. Prakshepaka dravyas are similar to that of Kwatha. So this we had already seen. Example is Panchakola Phanta. Panchakola Phanta, as no name suggests, Pancha 5 drugs are there. Pipali, Mula, Chavya, Chitraka and Nagara. In Kola Pramana it is taken. So same ingredients to taken. 5 parts, 5 ingredients, so 4 parts of water and soaked in hot water, macerated. Indications Gulma, Priha Vriddhi, Udara, Anaha and Udara Shula. The Upakalpana of the Phanta Kalpana is Arka Kalpana. So Arka Kalpana is it's a unique preparation which is called as the distillate of the drug. So here heat stable volatile principles of a drug are extracted by the process of distillation. So in this the vapors of the drug are condensed and during the distillation process and it is collected. So examples we have Pudina Arka, Ajmoda Arka. So Arka Prakasha, most of the examples we have usually taken from Arka Prakasha Bhatt, which was written by Ravana, in which there are 505 Arka preparations mentioned. So this is the distillation apparatus. Earlier times, different way it was used. Now we have the glass distillation apparatus for small scale preparations, and for large scale preparations, there will be modified steel distillation apparatus when you need to do distillation on large scale. So this distillation apparatus, which usually will have three parts, where it will be still, where you are placing the drug with the water, condenser, where the vapors which pass through get condensed, and receiver to receive those condensed vapors. So method of preparation, if the drug is dry, then you have to make it into a coarse powder, say like Ajmoda, Yavani if it is there. If it is wet, say like rose petals and all, you have to just crush it and make into smaller pieces. 10 parts of water should be added, and preferably soaking should be done overnight, and next day it should be and heating should be done till only 60% of the distillate is collected, and it should be stored in an airtight container. So you will know the this which you have got has a considered as Shrestha. So Shrestha Arka Lakshanas are Dravyadikam Adhikam Saugandham. So should have the smell more than that of the drug which you are taken the distillate from. When kept in Jirna Patra, it will have the Dravya Varna, and when kept in other vessels, it will have the color of Shankha, that is sponge. Kunda is a type of flower, white color flower, and in spoon. And when tasted, should have more taste than that of the dravya. So doses around 12 to 24 ml. Anupana is Shakara Madhuguda. Serving is around 6 months to 1 year. Usually, Amula is after consuming the Arka, or Tambala Sevana along with Lavanga should also be taken. So some examples of Arka, Ajmoda Arka. So method of preparation is doses are told. Indication is Dipana, Pajana, Achila, Shula, Shama, Basi, Shula. Here is the same method of preparation which has to be followed. Is Sharada, Sarashita Guna, and Pitta Shamaka. And it is Karma is Daha Shamaka, Shramahara. An indication is in Vanti, Trishna, Mukharoga, Pitta Roga. With the Sarka preparations, we finish with the Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpanas, and these are some of the questions. In Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpanas, question can be asked on 10 marks, 5 marks, as well as MCQs. So these are some of the questions for 10 marks. These are the questions which were usually asked in the last 5 years on different preparations. So 5 will be based for you. So in that you have to answer. And one question on 5 marks was to get 3.1 kg of Sitopaladi Churna, how much of quantity of drugs you will be adding. So that also you need to answer. And these are the MCQs, usually will be asked on maybe drug water proportion or dose or Anupana, Prakshepaka Dravyas. So such MCQs can be asked. So with this, I complete with my topic on Panchavidha Kashaya Kalpana. And I thank giving me an opportunity to be a part of this lecture series. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. It was a very interesting session. Thank you for accepting our invitation, and many people have benefited from your session. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.